Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today is Max Monday. We have another brand new release for the Dynamax Max Monday today, and it is Omanyte. Of course, last week was Adventure Week on Pokemon Go, and with that we normally get the fossil Pokemon, but last week was a little bit different in terms of an Adventure Week. We had the shiny release of Wiglet, and we also had the new Pokemon Toadschool being released, and Wiglet was mainly found in beaches and water areas, and Toadschool was in farmland areas as well as forest areas. So that was the Adventure Week. So not many fossil Pokemon about. We did have, of course, that Fossil Research Day, which we did see a few more then, but of course a shiny Wiglet on here as well by the looks of it. Very, very nice shiny. Super cool shiny Wiglet. But of course, the Adventure Week did finish yesterday on Pokemon Go, and with it, sadly, that 2x catch XP, which was one of the event bonuses. But today, we have another fossil Pokemon on the Dynamax Max Monday. If you remember last Monday, we had the Dynamax Kabuto being released for the first time ever on the game. And this week, we get its counterpart, Omanyte. Of course, Omanyte and Kabuto both had their shiny releases during one of those adventure weeks many years ago, and Omanyte was actually my first ever shiny on Pokemon Go, so it would be really cool to get a shiny Dynamax tonight, being that it is very sentimental throughout my game. Like I say, it was the first ever shiny I managed to get on Pokemon Go. Hey, how are you? Thanks so much for joining, Dan. So yeah, let's see if we can get a decent one. Now, I've actually had a bit of a read up on Dynamax Omanyte because I wondered how good it was actually going to be as a Dynamax. And you'd probably be surprising to know that Omastar, its evolution, is actually one of the best rock-type Dynamaxes or Gigantamaxes in the game. It will become the best rock type with a certain moveset. I can't quite remember that moveset, but I think it's something like Max Rockfall or something like that. And with that moveset, it'll become the best counter for Gigantamax Butterfree, which is a little bit annoying. We could have done with it last week, with Gigantamax Butterfree being yesterday. But it will become the best counter to use against Gigantamax Butterfree, outclassing the likes of Cinderace. And also, it will also become the best Dynamax to use against, or the second best Dynamax to use against Gigantamax Charizard. So really useful Dynamax Omastar. What about Rampardos? So Rampardos, I don't think Cranidos has a Dynamax. I don't think it's one of the nearly 300 Pokemon which has a Dynamax. So unfortunately, Aston, it is just a Dynamax that I'm talking about now. Omastar will be one of the best rock-type Dynamax, unless you change the movesets, potentially. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Kiki, yo man, what's good? Very good, thank you. Hopefully you've had a great weekend with all the events which have been on. 3 events all at once yesterday. It was really crazy. First Omastar, 832. I'm not sure what is a good one on this, but let's see how good this one is. Would be super cool if we started off the evening with a good one. Now, this one we've just done is just before 6 p.m. So at 6 p.m. we'll get the hour event starting. So this one will actually refresh another one. But we managed to sneak in a little cheeky first one, and 832 is terrible. 10, 11, 11. Absolutely shocking. Magic Carpuccino is in as well. Thanks so much for joining. So yeah, this one is going to restart another one. Shiny Swirlix, that is very cool. Of course, we have got that sweet Charms, is it called? Sweet Charms event? Oh, Sweet Swarm event, sorry. Yeah, the Sweet Swarm event. We had Swirlix research, free research given out to us yesterday for Swirlix. And of course, higher increased chance of getting a shiny Swirlix and shiny Combee. Tomorrow, on Tuesday, is when you will see the free research for Combee being released. I'm hoping to try and get a shiny female Combi, because yet again today I managed to get another Combi shiny, but again it was a male. So I now have 10 shiny Combis, and believe it or not, all of these are male. Not a single female shiny in my collection, which means sadly I haven't managed to evolve one into shiny Vespa Queen, which is so annoying. What's the dog? Awesome. Yeah, very cool. I hope the dog likes. One shiny and one female. Of course. So yeah, some people are really lucky with the Combi, and some people are very unlucky like me. I think the chances of a female spawn are like 15% in terms of the 85% spawn of a male. But of course, I think you do see males a lot more often. But yeah, I'm hoping I can get some off the research tasks, which are currently on at the moment with that event. But yeah, higher increased shiny chance. I've definitely got to take advantage of that and try and do as many research tasks as possible. Oh, the lizard, the one that evolves in Salandit, which goes into Salazzle. Yeah, you've got to have a female of that as well. Yeah, that's it. Is there not a Wasper King? No, unfortunately not. There's only you can only evolve a female one, unfortunately. It's just Vespa Queen is the only one. So let's see how good this one is. No shiny, 858. We could only really get better than that first one. 832, I believe, was that first one, if I remember right. So 858 is a nice increased stat of CP there, but let's have a quick look and see how good 858 is. And it is 3-star, 12, 13, 14. So pretty much the only just a 3-star, but still 3-star nonetheless. Let's pick up on these research tasks, and we will do some of these to try and get a shiny of the Combi as well, the female Combi. So let's just send some of these out. Now I don't know which tasks actually get you a Combi guaranteed. I don't know whether it's an even split, whether some task gives you a Combi and some task give you Swirlix, or whether it's just completely random and either, you know, any task can give either. I'm not too sure. We've got Swirlix on that one. So both of these have sent 2 gifts to a friend. So we've got Swirlix and we have another Swirlix. So maybe send 2 gifts to a friend is Swirlix, guaranteed. Maybe we'll have to keep an eye out for a different one for Combi. But we'll head over to another Omanyte and hope to get a decent one, or even a shiny one. Like I say, it's the first ever shiny I managed to get on Pokemon Go. After 2 years of actually installing it first, I was one of those players who installed it pretty much when the game came out, the day after it came out, in fact. And then after that, didn't really enjoy it. There wasn't anything really around me. There was one Pokestop right at the bottom of my village, and it was just a nightmare. There was no such things as gyms at first launch and everything like that. So it was very boring. So it was one of those where I actually uninstalled the game and reinstalled it about 2 years later. So we only managed to get our shiny, our first ever shiny, 2 years later in 2018, and that was an Omanyte during, I believe, at the time I didn't know what event it was, but I would imagine now it was actually the Adventure Week back in 2018 when Omanyte and Kabuto were actually released shiny for the first time. And it took me somewhat 6 months to actually find out that my Omanyte was shiny, because it did have that little shiny symbol on it, but I didn't have a clue what that meant at the time. I didn't even know you could get shinies when I first had that Omanyte. And it was only when I actually found a blue Omanyte, a normal Omanyte, that I realised, hang on, that one's purple and that one's blue, and therefore I only just realised that it was a shiny one after about 6 months. So, not a fantastic claim to fame, not knowing if something's shiny for that long, but still. was a nice surprise when I finally worked it out. And then since then, I've actually been hooked to the game like mad. So we have got another Omanyte there. And free particle wise, we've actually got a couple of free particles. It's good that Omanyte is a level 1, meaning it's only 250 particles, which is good. We have collected all of our particles today, but we can potentially collect some more from here. No, unfortunately not. Unlock a max move. How many particles would that take? Let's just go to Gigantamax. Let's do our Gigantamax Butterfree. How much would that move take? So it costs 400 and we get 400 back. I don't know what the advantage is to that. I think I'm probably just going to leave that there and not bother. Yeah, it doesn't seem to make much sense, that one doesn't. It'd be better if you cost less and then you get more back, but still. Combi task there. That was spin 5 Pokestops, so maybe that is a guaranteed Combi task. Power up a Pokemon 3 times. We'll stack that, so hopefully we can do a couple of those together. So roughly around about 3 more Omanytes until we've run out of the free particles. But we'll space these out a bit. There is another one across there, but we'll miss that one on the right. We'll do this one here. And then what we'll do is we'll do our adventure Incense as we're walking down the village, and then on the way back up we can do a couple more Omanyte to finish a live stream. So of course yesterday, like I said, there was actually 3 events all on at once, which was just really chaotic, really. There was of course the Combi and Swirlix event, which started yesterday morning. There was also Gigantamax Butterfree event, and then of course the last day of Adventure Week. So 3 events all happening at once, and in fact there's quite a few events which overlap. This event with the Swirlix and Combi goes on until Wednesday, I believe, on Wednesday evening. But then on Wednesday morning we have the Cozy Companions event starting, which has shiny Tandemaus, which is actually a really, really cool shiny release. It doesn't change that much, shiny Tandemaus, but still, it's a no way. Yo, I was not expecting that. Yes, man. Oh my god, look at him. Oh, it's so freaking cool. No way. No, that is wicked. Oh my god, I did not expect that. We have a shiny Dynamax Omanyte. That is so cool. That is really, really cool. The stats aren't brilliant, but look at him. No way. Our first ever shiny on a Max Mundi. That is insane. Let's go. Oh my god, look at him. He's so cool. Wow. Well, I'm very, very happy right now. That is so cool. I was just chatting away and was just claiming it, and I was like, I don't even know what I was chatting about now. No way, man. That is absolutely really, really cool. It's been so long since I've had a shiny 1-star. I think Drillbur was the last shiny 1-star that I had when that first got released, which was months ago now. That is insane. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Let's just stick the other phone on so I can actually see the comments and stuff, but that was just insane. I can't believe I've got that. Well, that's completely taken me by surprise. I've done so many of these Max Mundis that you just become accustomed to just chatting away and just, you know, not expecting the shiny to appear on your screen, and then that happens and it's just insane. Let's go. Get in. And I'm really happy it's Omanyte because, like I say, Omanyte was my first ever shiny on Pokemon Go. So it actually is a little bit special to me. I actually really like it as a Pokemon for that reason. But no way, that is insane. I am so happy with that. That is wicked. So yeah, if you haven't already, please like the video because we've just got a shiny Omanyte. Let's go. And now we're going to do our daily adventure incense and get a shiny glowing bird. Try to. Swirlix. I'm guessing Swirlix is increased shiny off the incense as well, I'm guessing. I can only assume we would have increased it, you know, completely on the game, not just off of research. So let's get rid of that one. Spin that stop. I mean, that shiny Omanyte, the CP on that could have been a lot worse. So I'm actually quite happy with what CP it's on. Yes, it's got an 11 attack, but, you know, if you're going to use it as an attacker, shiny Swirlix, let's go. Shinies are just popping off on this stream. No way. Did that catch? It did. 477, 2-star. So, wasn't really very good, but still, nice little 2-star shiny. And what have we got on this task? Trade a Pokemon. It's not an event one, we'll get rid of it. So this is pretty cool stream. We've only been live for about 20 minutes now, if that. And we've already got 2 shinies. I like this sort of Max Monday. Lopunny, no shiny, of course can be because it's mega. There's actually two Omanytes side by side there. So we can do those on our way back up after the daily adventure incense is finished. Let's go. Phantom. So what tasks have we got now? Power Pokemon 3 times. Like I say, we'll stack that until we get another one, I think. Shiny Swirlix? No. Maybe it is only research up there boosted. I am seeing him a bit in the wild road today. Maybe in a few days' time we'll start seeing Combi, i.e. from tomorrow onwards. Power Pokemon 3 times. So we've got a couple of those now. Let's do that. Let's go for that Swirlix right there. And we'll just power them up. So just power up ones at a low level. That's all that I do. Quite a few people power up things that they're going to power up anyway. But I just stick to the ones at a low level. And hopefully one of these is a Combi, but it's a male one. The first one is, and the second one's Swirlix. Not to worry. There's a couple more Pokestops up here. We might be able to cut across the fields, in fact, and get a few more. Those ones across there on that footpath. Right, so that Pokestop has completed that task, which has given us a non-shiny Swirlix. That Pokestop, don't know what the task is, but let's see if it's any good. It is not even an event one, so both those can be chucked away. And this one is send 2 gifts to friends. That's a very, very easy one to do. We can do that. Again, we'll keep it in for now. We won't do it straight away. We'll just stack it just to see if we get another couple of those. So like I say, let's go through the fields way and see what these Pokestops are across this way. Just be careful of the steps because it does seem like the bridge is broken a little bit. Just keeping an eye out as well for any glaring birds off this daily adventure incense. We don't want to miss them. Would be a very, very big shame if we ended up missing a glaring bird spawn. Magikarp? No. So the wild spawns are sort of missing out on an event, really. They are just a basic, normal wild spawns that you get outside of events. Of course, that event with the Combi and Swirlix is just mainly on research tasks, so it's not affecting the wild spawns, so we're still getting pretty boring wild spawns at the moment. As you can see with these Cottonese, Licky Tongue as well. And of course, the daily adventure incense isn't really spicing the spawns up either. With this Poliwag. Nidoking's not bad though. Quite like a Nidoking spawn. If it stays in, that is. There you go. First ball. Either that or it ran. So a quick look. No, it did stay in. It did stay in. So Omanyte. Moral, normally a decent, excellent throw to do. We managed to do it that time. Send 2 gifts to friends. We got it again. And the last one is spin 5 Pokestops. So we'll send 2 gifts. That will clear out 2 spaces as we walk through these real life Wooloos. A field full of sheep. I'll just show you these now. As you can see, literally walking through a field of sheep. Real life Wooloos. Live on the Pokemon stream. See, who else's stream do you get that on? Really? You know. Could be like a wildlife documentary as well at the same time. Excellent throw on Mr. Mom. I don't know if it stayed in. It did. The incense spawns actually do disappear now when you quick catch them, which is good. I've just got in the habit of checking the Pokemon storage every time though. But if you click on them again, if they're still there, they will actually disappear if you've caught, similar to a normal spawn. So like this dew spider, for example. If we throw a Pokeball at that one, excellent throw. If it disappears like that, we know we've caught it, or it's at least run away, one or the other. Just saves you throwing Pokeballs aimlessly, thinking it's still there, but actually you've caught it already. So those field research tasks, we've got send 2 gifts to friends. Let's do that now. And we'll send 2 out who haven't yet received. And we'll tip those ones off Comby, male one, and Comby again, and male one again. So send 2 gifts to friends. This looks like it's Comby, or at least that time. I'll have to wait and see if that continues to be the case. And we'll try and prioritise those tasks. Like I say, with Swirlix, we've got plenty of Swirlix shinies. We've actually got plenty of this event as well. Got about 3 or 4 now. Whereas the Comby, we are desperate for that shiny female Comby after having 10 male shinies. Power Pokemon 3 times. And we also have send 2 gifts. So we'll go ahead and send 2 gifts now after we've caught a few of these Pokemon. Your phone temperature is too high, the hotspot will go off. So the common phone will go off, unfortunately. Right, so let's just see if we've got these tasks here. Or before we get these tasks, should I say here, let's just clear out that send 2 gifts to friends while sending a couple of gifts out. There's 1, and there's 2. Let's claim that, and it is a Swirlix. We won't catch it, we'll leave it there. So if we spin one of these, that will also complete another task where we spin 5 Pokestops, and then we have evolve a Pokemon, power up the Pokemon 3 times, and non-event, and what's this one up here? I think that one we just spun, but it hasn't quite registered, it hasn't changed colour. Sometimes does that. There we go, it's changed colour now. So we've already done the task on that one. So we might as well try and do as many of these tasks as possible while we're also on the stream, just to try and get, or give ourselves the best chance of getting that Comby. Staryu. That's a nice incense one, mainly because of the Stardust. I think it's 500 Stardust per Staryu catch. We'll soon find out. 750. So not bad at all for a Stardust. So we have another space free on the task research. So let's spin this one. See what we get. Non-event, so we'll get rid of it. And then we'll spin this next one. Again, I don't think registered. We did register that time. Evolve Pokemon. So we've got 2 Evolve Pokemon now. It makes sense to do that one. And then we have 2 more spaces available. Ready for these 2 Pokestops down here. Mindfu? No. Still need an extra Mindfu for the shiny family. A little bit annoying, we've only managed to get 1 so far. Another one would be very nice. And of course, Rookedy, we only need 1 more for a family, but that is the August Community Day, Rookedy, as voted by the community. So it's going to be quite a nice one to get, because I think all the evolution looks really, really nice. Not only is it one of the newer shinies released into the game, of course, only came out a couple of weeks ago during that first Ultra Unlock event, if you remember. Or the second Ultra Unlock event, should I say, the Steel and Scales event. But in just under a couple of weeks now, we'll get the Community Day for it. So, Evolve a Pokemon, let's do that now before we get too far ahead of ourselves, and we might as well do this Rolt. Only 25 candy to evolve, and we have 9,000 Rolts candy, so it makes sense to do this. So Curlier, and now let's claim a couple of these tasks. We have Combee and we have Swirlix. So Evolve Pokemon seems to be able to be both. I don't know if that's the same for all tasks. I'm trying to see if I can work out if certain tasks are just for Combee or whether they are just a mixture no matter what the event task you get. I think we're just going to do them all anyway, just in case. Because to be honest, increased shiny chance and it from research, even if it is Swirlix, it's a really, really good chance to try and get a decent shiny. Maybe even a Shundo. That'll be super cool if we can. Evolve Pokemon again, which is just rewarded as one of both Swirlix and Combee. And then another Evolve Pokemon. So let's get another Evolve done. Trico there. Another 25 candy. And that's 2 more tasks completed. So we've probably got about 15 more minutes left on this daily adventure Incense, which is just enough time probably to do a loop of a nature reserve and also to start walking back up towards those 2. No Combees, both male, non-shiny. So yeah, it just gives us enough time, once we've gone down here, done a loop of these to get the stops for the Combee and Swirlix research, and then start walking back the other way. It just gives us enough time before we get into those 2 more Omanytes, 2 more of which we can do during this hour on the free particles. But we do have that shiny one already, which is super, super cool. It is such a nice shiny. I think all the fossil shinies are really, really nice shinies. They all go to quite different colours. I think the only one that perhaps doesn't go to a massive different colour is Archon, which just slightly changes. Of course, Shieldon only slightly changes as well, but when you evolve it into Bastiodon, it does change quite a bit more. But I think most of the fossil Pokemon, when you think of the likes of Cranidos and Kabuto, Omanyte, they do change quite a bit really, which is what I like to see in a shiny. The colours changing quite a lot, and you actually being able to tell it's a shiny straight away from looking at it. unlike the shiny Tandemaus, which is going to be released tomorrow, or Wednesday, should I say, for the Cozy Companions event, that is going to be a very, very difficult shiny to notice, really. It's only slightly changes on the belly of Tandemaus. And of course, not only that, but depending on what shiny Tandemaus odds are, also means that it's going to be very, very rare to get a shiny Tandemaus or a shiny Maushold, its evolution form, as a family of 3. Because the family of 3 is a 1 in 100 chance. When you evolve it, it's completely random, but you only have a 1 in 100 chance of getting a family of 3 compared to the normal family of 4. And of course, if you combine that with the shiny odds, if we do leave it at full odds, 1 in 512, it's going to be very, very hard to get the shiny family of 3. Now, I do wonder whether in the future there'll be perhaps a community day for it or something where you can perhaps obtain it a little bit easier, or whether they are just going to keep it that level of difficulty so that it does become extremely rare to get a shiny family of 3 Maushold. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, but it is quite a nice shiny release. Not very nice to look at, but still a nice one to try and get. It gives us another thing to do the parties for, because the party challenges were starting to get a little bit boring now, truth be told. I do regularly join a party on raid hours and stuff like that, and the challenges do seem to get a little bit annoying. Of course, the best challenges are Tandemaus, so now with its shiny release being on Wednesday, I fully expect that you'll be able to get that shiny continuously from now on. So let's do the power up a Pokemon 3 times, and let's see what that gives us. So we've got a 10 CP Zigzagoon there, that's perfect. Very, very cheap to power up. And it's a Combi at 204. And another Combi 193. So 2 more field research tasks here. Send gifts to friends, and that one is a spin 5 Pokestops, but unfortunately not an event one. So it won't give us Combi or Swirlix. Nice little Drowsy off the Incense. Drowsy is another one that's got a very, very nice shiny. It goes all pink. Very cool shiny Pokemon. So we'll just reach this Pokestop up here in just a second or so. And I'll be able to start walking back the other way. Do a loop of that as well on the way. And maybe do the 2 Omanytes in there as well. Might as well catch that Yamper. It's not often we see Yamper about. It's definitely been brought out into the wild a little bit more often than normal, Yamper. So we might as well catch it just in case we do take it away from us a little bit. And that task there is send 2 gifts to friends. So another 2 tasks, which are the same task, meaning we can do 2 for the price of 1 again. So let's send some more gifts out. People are going to be loving these gifts on my friend list. Currently been sending them out all day and all the way down to G now. Combi, no shiny. And Swirlix, no shiny. 498 on Swirlix. Now, I don't know the CPs you need to be looking out for on Swirlix and Combi, but I think Swirlix is just over 500 CP, perhaps 502, something like that, is what you need to be looking for. Anything over 500 is very good in the region of around 96, 98 IVs once you go over 500 CP on Swirlix. In terms of Combi, I would say around about 210 is a hundo for Combie. Now I don't know for sure, so that's just my estimation on what I've had already. But I've got a couple of 207s which are quite high in terms of the stats, in terms of the IVs, but not quite the hundo. So maybe around 210, something like that, is a hundo for Combie. So keep an eye out for numbers around that region. We have 2 more Pokestops in here that we haven't yet managed to get. And then also 2 Omanytes. And we've got 4 minutes left on our daily. Now, if you did tune into the stream yesterday, no, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, we actually went live for the research day, the fossil research day on Saturday, featuring Tyrant and Amora. And we got a couple of wild shinies. We had shiny Laleep, we had shiny Cranidos in the wild, and then we got a couple off a research task. Of course, research tasks were boosted, so around about 1 in 10, 1 in 20 shinies for a research task off a research day. And we got 2 shiny Tyrants and 1 shiny Amora, I believe, during that research day off the task. And of course, like I say, a couple of fossil Pokemon in the wild as well, shiny with Laleep and Cranidos, which wouldn't have been boosted. It would have been 1 in 512, so very, very lucky to get 2 of those. So overall, the fossil day was very, very good. But what topped it off probably more than anything was, it took us a little bit of time, but we managed to get exactly 900 million XP. We managed to reach that milestone on Saturday. Since then, we've nearly got 4 million XP since Saturday. But of course, a lot of that down to the fact it was still 2 times catch XP until yesterday evening. So we have been catching quite a bit recently, trying to hit these excellent throws. And although we're not getting 2 times catch XP anymore, we're still trying to do that because we are aiming to try and hit 1 billion XP originally by the end of the year. But I am now starting to wonder whether we can do it for around Halloween time, because that would just probably allow us to be able to do a Gengar raid or Gengar Gigantamax, or even a Ghastly Dynamax potentially around Halloween time. I'm guessing that will get featured around Halloween time. Maybe it has a new costume as well this year. It has been a couple of years since we've had a Gengar costume, so maybe they'll do another Gengar costume. That would be super cool if we do. But I'm hoping for our 1 billionth XP raid, we can try and organise a Gengar around Halloween time. That would be very, very cool if we can. So what are we now? Start of August. We've got a couple of months left until Halloween, and we are trying to get another 100 million before then. And I'm hoping to have some big events again where we can get a load of XP. Even if it is just 2 times catch XP, it's at least better than the standard. Well, I'm hoping for a few more events with those sort of bonuses, just so we can try and get that last 100 million done a little bit quicker than what we have previously targeted, which was, of course, to reach 1 billion by the end of the year. It would be crazy. It would be absolutely crazy if we reach this end of the year with exactly double what we started the year on. We started the year on 541 million. So if we reached toad score there. So if we reached just over 1 billion, towards 1 billion and 40, or 1 billion and 80 should I say, then we would have actually doubled the XP that we started off with at the start of this year, just in 1 year. So 8 years worth of XP doubled in just 1 year. That would be an insane amount of grinding. So let's see what raid this is. It's just a Lugia, so we'll keep an eye on those. Now, we have had some other raid invites earlier on this morning, and you may have seen this online yourself. And these are the Indonesia exclusive Pikachu. Now, there is an event going on in Indonesia where you get these Pikachu wearing the Indonesian national football team t-shirt. Very, very cool looking costume. And we did 6 of these remotes this morning because, of course, I only try and remote the regionals or the event exclusive Pokemon that you can't normally get any other way. So I did remote a couple of these. We got a couple of females and a couple of males, and then a couple more females to finish off with. So managed to get 6 of those. No shiny, unfortunately. I think the shinies were boosted, 1 in 64 for a shiny Pikachu with the Indonesia national football t-shirt on, which is a very, very cool costume. I do hope that we do that with other countries as well, and it's not just Indonesia. I do hope that we do it with different countries, and it would be super cool to try and get a collection of those football shirt Pikachus. That would be a very, very cool collection indeed. Now we have 2 more Omanytes that we can do. I'll just turn the hotspot on again, just so I can catch up on the comments. I believe someone has just commented below. I just missed out on that. But yeah, we've got 2 more Omanytes that we can do. And we're going to do those now. The daily adventure incense is just finished. Pokemon Go Lover says Lugia is in raids. Yes, it came in raids this morning. So Lugia at 10 AM local time on Monday, which is of course today. Lugia took over from Virizion as level 5 raids, and then Mega Ampharos is on Mega raids. That of course took over Mega Aerodactyl, which was on Mega raids during the adventure week. So Mega Ampharos and Lugia both in raids as of now. So yeah, Lugia is very, very one. That's a bit of a fan favourite really. It is a very, very cool looking Pokemon, Lugia is. And its shiny is very, very nice design, as well as Ho-Oh. So Omanyte 859 on that Omanyte. So the CP's getting slightly better each time we do them, which is good. Can we finish off on an even higher number in terms of CP with this final one of the evening? 859 is not too bad, 12, 12, 15. So there is still a bit of room to improve on that. So I'm guessing Hundo's around 870, something like that, even a little bit higher than that, maybe around 880. So keep an eye out for those sort of numbers when you are doing Omanyte. So this is the last one of the evening. It's the last one we can do with the 3 max particles that we've got. And of course, we spent quite a bit of max particles yesterday for that Gigantamax Butterfree, of which I'll be doing a results video later on this evening on how my event went over the weekend with Gigantamax Butterfree. I'll be doing a bit of a results video, and we'll see if we did manage to get a shiny and if we did manage to get a Hundo as well during those Gigantamax battles yesterday. So make sure to stick around on the channel, or at least subscribe to the channel and turn that notification bell on, and you'll get notified when that video goes up later this evening. So the last Omanyte of the evening, let's have a quick look and see what we get from this one. Of course, unlike a raid, you can't see the CP countdown, so you don't know what the CP is until you enter the catch screen. So no shiny, 867. So we have got higher again, potentially the best one of the evening, if not the best one. We'll have to check just after this. We'll have a little bit of a review after this before we finish a live stream. But 867 seems decent CP. So let's just appraise this and see how good it is. Not bad at all. 14, 15, 12 on this one. So arguably our best one of the evening. Let's just double check that to make sure. So let's go ahead and type in Omanyte. And of course, the more recent ones that we've had, you can see there, we started the evening on 832, one of the lowest CPs you can have in terms of Dynamax Omanyte. Very, very low CP, 10, 11, 11. Of course, 10, 10, 10 is the floor, so not far away from the worst IVs you can get from these. Then we had an 858, which was a 12, 13, 14. Then we had an 848, but it was shiny. Look at that. a lovely purple Omanyte there. Very, very cool shiny Omanyte. Of course, these are 1 in 512 odds for these Dynamax. So we are very, very lucky to get this on our 3rd Dynamax battle. Very, very lucky indeed. Shiny Omanyte there. Super, super happy with that. And we also had an 859, slightly better on that 858. But then our 5th and final one of the evening, an 867. Very, very decent sort of CP. And probably anything a little bit better than that would be worth powering up. So anything 870 and above, probably definitely worth powering up, because like I said at the start of the video, surprisingly, Dynamax Omanyte, or its evolution Omastar, is going to be one of the best rock type Pokemon to have in the game in terms of Dynamax and Gigantamax. It's going to be one of the best rock max Pokemon to have in the game. And in fact, in a couple of weeks for the max finale, where we have Eternatus being released on the game, this one will also be the best counter for the likes of Butterfree when that makes a return during that lead up to Eternatus. And of course, Charizard will be also in battles that week as well, or that weekend. And Gigantamax Charizard, Omanyte or Omastar, its evolution, will be the 2nd best counter for Gigantamax Charizard. So the 1st best for Gigantamax Butterfree. A little bit annoying we didn't get it before Gigantamax Butterfree, of course, which got released yesterday. And 2nd best for Gigantamax Charizard. So this is going to be a very, very good rock type Dynamax to get hold of. So try your best to try and get a decent one of these. Even if you just keep using your free particles every single day, you can't really go wrong using those free particles that you get every day on Omanyte, because if you get a good one, you have a very, very good rock type max Pokemon to use. So a very, very cool level 1 Blastoise sat next to us. Super, super cool. So Dynamax Max Monday is now complete. Let's just see what research tasks we have around here. Try and see if we can get any more of these tasks complete. So we have evolve a Pokemon and we have power up a Pokemon 3 times. So we'll go ahead and do those now to see if we can finish a live stream on a shiny Swirlix or a shiny Combee. So there is a power up a Pokemon 3 times. And we just need to evolve a Pokemon as well. I believe that was a task. Let's just evolve that Wooloo. I'm sure that was a task. There we go. Evolve a Wooloo. So let's see if we get a shiny to finish a live stream on. Of course, we already had a shiny Swirlix off for research during this live stream, just after we had that shiny Omanyte as well. So very, very cool live stream in terms of shinies. So can we finish on a high? Swirlix, non-shiny, 483 CP. Like I say, anything over 500 is going to be very, very good on my stats. And another Swirlix, again, 475. So no shiny yet again. So that has been the Max Monday live stream today. It has been a very, very nice live stream. Thanks very much for everybody who's tuned in. Don't forget, if you've not already done so, please like this video. Hit that little thumbs up on the video. You can do that very, very simple on mobile by just double tapping the screen. Or if you're watching on iPad or laptop or computer, make sure to go hit that little thumbs up button. And also you can subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on as well. We'll be live again tomorrow evening at the same time as what we went live today, around 5:50 p.m. British summertime. Make sure to keep an eye out for that. And if you've turned that notification bell on, you'll get notified when we do go live. Well, that will be for the Spotlight Hour live stream. And as we worked out last week, we found a very, very nice Spotlight Hour live stream route to get even more spawns than we normally do. So hopefully we can get shinies tomorrow during Spotlight Hour. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn that notification bell on. Thanks very much for everybody who's been tuning in today and has watched me get a shiny Omanyte from a Max Monday. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.